no, 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 no.
Well, you don't mind if I just sit in, do you?
What do we do now? We could hug. Yeah, you'd like that.
Wait, what?
It sounds fun.
We're gonna party and party hard.
So let's dance.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to NSS. This is the Reynolds Report. Avengers Infinity War ruled the box office again in its third weekend in theaters. Globally, the film has now grossed over $1.6 billion. $200 million of that which came from its massive opening in China over the weekend. It's now the fifth highest grossing film of all time worldwide. This coming Saturday, the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will take place in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. The royal wedding service will begin at noon British time, with the Dean of Windsor and the Archbishop of Canterbury set to marry Harry and Meghan in front of 600 guests in the chapel. The newlyweds will then embark on a 1 p.m. carriage procession through Windsor town before returning to the castle for a lunchtime reception hosted by the Queen at St. George's Hall. Those watching in Honolulu, Hawaii will be the first to see the royal wedding, with the ceremony beginning at 1 a.m. on Saturday. Viewers on the West Coast can catch a few more hours sleep before the Los Angeles start time of 4 a.m., followed by Denver at 5 and Chicago at 6. New York and the rest of the East Coast will then bring up the rear at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most networks carrying the royal wedding will begin coverage about an hour or two before the ceremony. Senator John McCain's daughter Meghan told ABC News yesterday that White House staffer Kelly Sadler has not yet followed through on her reported promise to publicly apologize for making jokes about her father's ill health.
So first I just want to say is, don't feel bad for me or my family. We're really strong. There's so much more love and prayer and amazing energy being generated towards us than anything negative at all. And I feel so blessed. My dad's actually doing really well right now, and I believe in the power of prayer, and I think it's helping. So I want to thank all the positivity of people with that.
Good. Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is that Kelly, here's a little news flash, and this may be a bit intense for 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, but we're all dying. I'm dying, you're dying, we're all dying.
Yeah.
And I want to say that since my dad has been diagnosed it's almost a year, July 19th, I really feel like I understand the meaning of life. And it is not how you die, it is how you live.
Right.
And thank you. And I always have had something to believe in. My dad's all about character and bipartisanship and something greater than yourself, and believing in this country and believing in the fact that we as Americans can still come together.
Yeah.
And that's something that I grew up in and feeds me every day. And I'm not scared of death anymore. I'm just not. And whatever you want to say in this kind of environment, the thing that surprises me most is, I was talking about this with you, Joy, that I don't understand what kind of environment you're working in when that would be acceptable, and then you can come to work the next day and still have a job.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about it.
And now, things I've learned from Judge Judy. All rise.
You should be able to rely on your instincts. And when your instincts tell you that somebody is a loser, rely on your instincts.
That's it for things I've learned from Judge Judy.
Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, says Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, might have gotten Stormy's hush money from a Russian businessman. Even the Avengers are like, okay, you know what? There are way too many characters in this thing. 65-year-old Russian President Vladimir Putin scored 7 goals in a hockey game comprised of Russian all-stars. Now, I don't want to say the goalie didn't try to stop flat shots, but I've seen Kardashians reach harder to pick up a book. New medical study finds that babies prefer listening to other babies. Well, that explains Sean Hannity and his guests. America's oldest man turned 112 on the weekend. He smokes and he drinks, and he wants all the kids out there to know that he never had a single day ever in his adult life where algebra even remotely came in handy. A Texas woman sent to prison for 15 years after she ran over her cheating husband with a car was released on Friday. A not sure she learned her lesson, though. She celebrated by doing figure eights in the parking lot. Neil deGrasse Tyson says Jeff Bezos is so rich, his money would stretch from the Earth to the moon and back 7 times. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get my money to stretch until Saturday. A Colorado woman was tracked down by police after blowing up a microwave at a 7-Eleven while trying to heat a cup of urine to beat a drug test. Cops found the woman at a nearby clinic where she was planning to take the drug test for a potential job. Imagine being the person testing this urine. Well, there's no signs of marijuana, but why is it at 3,000 degrees? Strange but true, a Kansas City man was arrested for trying to have sex with the tailpipe of a car. As a result, his Uber passenger only gave him 2 stars. Time for Nobody Gives a F***. In New Jersey, a bear smashed through a baker's car window and devoured 3 dozen cupcakes. The only thing left was smeared icing, a massive paw print, and a pretty decent Yelp review. Hey, bears, nobody gives a f***. Spirit Airlines will become the first ultra-low-cost carrier in the U.S. to offer Wi-Fi. So, while you're waiting to take off after a 3-hour delay, you can go online and book a flight with a better airline. Hey, shitty airlines, nobody gives a f***. And in Arizona, after 1 date, a woman broke into a man's home and then sent him 65,000 texts. Or as Taylor Swift calls that, playing hard to get. Hey, people who are, over-emotional. Nobody gives a f***. Thanks, everybody. We have a new episode of the Reynolds Report for you every weekday. Be sure to check out NSS Live, starring Frank D'Angelo and his celebrity panel of guests, live Tuesdays and Thursdays on NSS.